Every year, millions of people flock to the same handful of towns in France. Colmar a leader amongst them, but that can't be all there is to this stunning corner of the world, no. Not even close. To me, over-tourism is merely synonymous with a lack of creativity. So today, let's journey through Alsace the near-from-home way to places you've never heard of, as I show you the 3 levels of off the beaten path and how to bring a little bit more adventure back into your travels.
I'm not going to film them doing it because that's mean, but I just saw 2 cars go over this very pedestrian bridge. When you go to these overly touristed places, you just get people, it's like, what are you doing? It says no cars. It's clearly not for cars. The amount of people that have driven over that lovely bridge. Pay attention to road signs. If you're gonna take a car, don't take a train, but if you're gonna insist, at least do it properly. Because actually, come to think of it as well, our train was practically empty on the way down here. It took no time at all. It was really cheap. No one was there. The seats were comfy. Considering how many other people are here right now, yeah, not enough of you have taken public transit.
That being said, Colmar is so beautiful. You've kind of just got to accept the crowds.
Which is exactly why I'm so excited for today's video. I mean, the point being, do the tourists have it right? Is this the only beautiful place to be? Or are there more villages not getting the love they deserve, even though they're equally beautiful? What I will say about Colmar, though, is that despite how crowded it may be, there are few places on earth I have ever seen quite so ready for brunch. I mean, the amount of outdoor seating that we have tucked around every corner is enough to rival Greece or Italy on their best of days, and I just was not expecting that in the Rhineland. And to that end, I have picked one of my favorite restaurants in this area to go to, but that's not in this video. You know what we're gonna do. Otherwise it would be 2 hours long if I kept in everything we ever ate. So you're gonna need to like and subscribe now and come back later for our French food video, because of course the theme of this one is all about underrated towns. We don't have time to wait on every quiche I'm gonna eat. So instead, let's go over to the bus station, let's get on a bus, let's go to a town you might not have heard of. And so to begin our adventures into the unknown, we're going to start off nice and easy, level 1 off the beaten path being merely a 15-minute bus ride away. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
2 please.
2, okay. It's 8 euros.
Thank you. Welcome at long last to the charming town of Eguisheim, and our first town off the beaten path, which I am incredibly excited to finally be able to visit for one reason and one reason alone, and that's because when I was looking at this town from a satellite perspective, it is in a perfect circle, which can mean only one thing: an intact medieval wall. So let's explore this town in the only way I know how. We're going on a damn good walk. And as it just so happens, the tourism board has placed this very conspicuous, very beautiful map of the town right on this wall. There's the Rue du Rampart, the route of the ramparts, if you will, the old city walls, and you have to tell me twice.
What I absolutely love about this medieval wall is that you can't actually see the wall because it's covered in houses, which just makes such a fun medieval alleyway to wander through. I'm really enjoying this. I've never seen anything like it.
And I will say, first impressions right off the bat, knock on wood, I'm not jinxing myself for later, but maybe it's just the city wall talking. I think this place is prettier than Colmar, and it's dramatically less busy. There's barely anybody here in comparison, right? And the views, I don't think they're lacking. And something you should be paying attention to as we walk around these just beautiful medieval style houses is the door frames. You've got these wonderful stone arches, which is quite rare to see, but look at the top, right near the capital. That's where you're gonna find the most interest because the masons would carve either the original occupants, their names, initials, maybe a code to a Bible verse, and my favorite of all, and in this case, your occupation. The marks representing what they would do for a living, often via their tools. In particular, those are the tools of a cooper, a barrel maker. And they lived here hundreds of years ago. Do you see what I see?
I do.
This medieval wall comes complete with Vegbier, beer for the road. And I think it's brewed here as well.
It's gonna be hard for the next town to beat this.
This is really good. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Do you have a recommendation?
It depends that you like. So if you like bitterness, blonde, amber, black.
Yeah, maybe blonde, please.
Blonde.
Yeah.
With bitterness.
Maybe not so bitter.
Not too much.
No,
and,
not too much.
Strong in alcohol.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Thank you. Also, $3.90 is not bad for a craft beer. The prices in all the other towns have been way worse. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Have a wonderful day.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody, to a cold beer from a medieval wall. You see how it tastes? Oh, we're a far cry away from Bavaria, everybody. This might have more than 4 ingredients. I can definitely tell that he's used a complex wheat blend. There's a complexity, right, to the flavor that is really hard to get across. And he is right, it's perfectly balanced. This is exactly what I asked for. And he's also completely right. This is why I love asking for recommendations on a beer from someone who brews it, because yeah, blonde, strong, not that bitter, super complicated. It's actually my favorite kind of beer. I just can't drink a liter of this. So I love my Bavarian Helles at home, but I'm happy to have this on vacation. And I know what you're thinking out there, Americans in my audience, that this looks illegal, suspicious, too good to be true. But out here in Europe, we got a little thing you might have heard of, something called freedom. And I'm allowed to do the bloody accent because I lived there for so long and everybody thinks I'm American anyway. So I may as well sound like one sometimes. Camille, are you seeing this one? Whoa. There's no way, right? We have to be reading that wrong. 1262. I just saw one that said 1598 and I thought that was unbelievable. 1624, but 1262, almost 800 years old. That's incredible.
Now, this is not too dissimilar from Colmar and Strasbourg,
True.
but nobody's here.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a good point, Camille. We're literally alone.
Down the street from the Instagram spot as well.
Yeah, the major Instagram spot is over here. I've got a cold beer I bought from the wall, and this door's from, well, not the door, but the surrounding keystone is from 1262. What more could you ask for?
Now, regardless of what Ben would have you believe, there is so much more to Eguisheim than just a wall. This town is dotted with tons of little courtyards with beautiful decorated fountains and lots of outdoor seatings for restaurants. I am so pleasantly surprised because there is so much more to this town than I thought there would be. However, we don't have much time until the last bus leaves back for Colmar, and we really want to check out, right here in the center of town, the Chapel of St. Leon.
It looks so cool.
I like the stork nest.
And easily the most exciting thing about this chapel, or at least to me, is that it's built into the old octagonal curtain wall of the medieval keep. Of course, they didn't really need that moving into the future. Cannons kind of got rid of the need for keeps, but not chapels. And so they put that right in the center.
I think we've only seen something like this once before.
What, a chapel and a keep?
Yeah.
Have we?
Dornstein, remember?
The camping barrels?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, yeah, there was a church in there.
Check that video out, it's pretty cool.
This church might be a little prettier than Dornstein's.
Wow.
That was a really good video if you haven't seen it. This town has been incredible, right? I mean, if I knew then what I know now, I would have given this town more time, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. This has just sort of blown me away.
I genuinely thought, look, it's level 1, it's 15 minutes away from Colmar, and Colmar was nice, but we didn't love it. We liked it, but this, we love. I mean,
I think it's very near from home.
it's so near from home, but it's almost too easy, and it makes you wonder where everyone is, because there were thousands and thousands of people in Colmar, and all it takes is a 15-minute bus to get this. So I definitely would recommend Eguisheim. I've loved it here, but the bus is coming quickly. I'm not quite sure where the bus stop is, so we're gonna put the camera down. See you again shortly.
Which brings us to level 2. Finding a niche attraction and exploring its nearby unknown town that most people wouldn't make the trek for, and then making the trek yourself. Usually for us, this niche attraction means, well, one thing and one thing only: castles. And today, we've got 3 of them. Welcome to Ribeauvillé. And the first thing that you're going to notice here, just as I did, is that it doesn't feel like a town restored or a town putting on a show. It simply feels like Ribeauvillé never stopped being itself. I knew nothing of this place when we stepped off the bus, but that didn't matter, right? Because when you're traveling with your hobbies and your interests, the whole day trip isn't riding on just the quality of the town, but also the reason why you're exploring this area in the first place, which today is castles. But in my experience, good things come in pairs, like with like, and so this town, unsurprisingly, blew me away instantly. The food was incredible, tasting even better than it looked. Sitting in the old town square, eating outside with these views, it was heavenly. Strolling the streets, exploring the back alleys, buying biscuits. I couldn't have asked to find a better place to visit if I tried. And remember, none of this is why we're here. It's all bonus, it's all a surprise, which is exactly why I love exploring in this way. But then came the hike. Through beautiful hilltop vineyards to our trio of castles, it's exceptional. And to fans of the channel, this might all seem a little familiar, which it should. This day trip ended up being so incredibly good that we turned it into its own video, Strasbourg's best day trip. So if you're interested in the full experience of everything this genuine hidden gem has to offer, then please go and watch that video after this one, of course. It was such an amazing day. You really should go check it out. But with level 2 thoroughly accomplished, let me show you how we can go even further off the beaten path with level 3.
And now welcome everybody to our next off the beaten path town, Bergheim, a place I know literally nothing about. I just saw its medieval fortification wall from outside that very bus's window, and I thought that's where we're gonna get off and explore. And it's that spontaneity as well, right, that makes this emblematic level 3 off the beaten path. Going somewhere you've never heard of, never researched, never heard of anyone else talking about, and you just found it by looking at the map or out of a window. So spontaneous, high risk, high reward. And I've got to admit, Bergheim is starting off really strong. This medieval tower is absolutely excellent, but I think what I am most excited for is the double fortification wall. It's sort of a specialty of the Alsace region, especially compared to the things I've shown you in Germany. But the idea, the fact that this town could preserve not one, but 2 walls is a genuine gem. Over the centuries that these walls have stood, most of them have been knocked down, merged, blurred, you know, it gets kind of messy. But this is one of the best preserved double walls in the entire region. I think I know where we need to start the walking tour, right?
I am so excited.
We gotta do the perimeter. Oh yeah, free-range wall chickens. I'm worried that my life is gonna be forever worse now, knowing that houses like this exist. You can live betwixt the walls with such an amazing garden. And I don't think I ever will, but I guess I'm glad somebody is. These are beautiful.
I never say never. Aren't you glad I saw this one?
I mean, yeah, this is insane. You know, I was really worried that like taking you guys to another medieval wall would be a bit boring, but I don't know about you. This has been great. I've loved this. It's so different than the wall in Eguisheim. I think because we're just further off the beaten path than that village. Yes, there are lots of houses built into the wall, but a lot of the towers are preserved too, just because there's less competition for that space here than out there near Colmar. And that's just the benefit, right? When you go off the beaten path. I can't believe how good this is. But no matter how amazing it is, we should check out the center of town as well. There's a lot of buildings I want to show you.
And what I'm noticing and really loving about the half timber here is that it's a lot more understated. I'm seeing a lot more earth tones as opposed to like bright reds and blues and yellows.
Feels a little bit more lived in, right?
Yeah, exactly. This town is just so much more maze-like than all the other towns we've been to.
And the church here right in the center of town, elevated on this plateau, no less, is such a gem, an emblem of early Gothic architecture. And if you have trouble keeping it all together, here's how I remember it. When you look at the windows, they're more complicated than a Romanesque window, and not nearly complicated enough that I go, ah, that's Gothic, which therefore means early Gothic. In between. It's just really quite pretty, isn't it?
Architecture facts with Ben.
I'm really not very good with architecture, but you know, that one's not too hard to suss out, is it?
It's just so pretty. A little spicy. I'd be lying if I said she didn't scare me a little bit.
Ben, did you see that this house is for sale?
I might have.
Do you know what that means? Maybe we should buy it and make a YouTube home renovation channel?
So many travelers just become home renovation channels.
First it's travel, then it's van life, and then it's settling down and renovating a home in a foreign country.
I would skip van life for this.
I would too.
Now, unfortunately, the House of Witches is closed because it's April and they're only open during the high season of May to October. But that being said, just outside their amazing house, the witches have a wonderful garden full of medieval plants used for medicine, which is quite cool. I love a themed garden. And even though the museum is closed, I want to highlight it anyway because I think you probably should go statistically. I think it's going to be really cool because they take an angle that I don't see often enough when we're talking about witch trials. You see, we often make quite a lot of light of witches and witch trials, but this museum tries to take it incredibly seriously because at the end of the day, in the medieval period, that was the legalized hunting and execution of innocent women. It's actually not a light topic at all. So to see someone take it seriously and not just gussy it up with bed knobs and broomsticks, I think is quite cool. Which also leads me to my favorite pastime, reading Google reviews. There are a ton of 5-star reviews saying exactly what I just said, which is why I feel confident telling you about it. But there are also a ton of 1-star reviews by people with bad taste who are just mostly complaining, oh, the museum was a bit boring. I expected it to be more suitable and entertaining for children. And if you thought the burning of women was a suitable subject matter for children, then maybe Disney has rotted your brain just a little bit. And I'm not saying witches can't ever be lighthearted and fun, of course they can, but when somebody tries to take it seriously and educate you about the plight of these women who were treated terribly, let's let them have that, right? Let's not tell them that they need to tone it down every time. And this building in particular behind me is exceptionally rare, as this is the only synagogue in all of Alsace still to be sitting on top of its foundations laid in the 1300s. I mean, there just aren't that many of these buildings left, and we actually even don't know how early the foundation was set. We know the 1300s at minimum, but it could have been prior. And an interesting architectural note before we leave, to compare it to the church that we saw earlier, this building did technically burn down around the 1840s, rebuilt in the 1860s in a neo-Romanesque style. And if you compare it to the church, you can see it quite plainly, right? The windows here are so much simpler. They don't quite have all of that ornamentation that the Gothic period brought. And that, of course, was done on purpose to make this as reminiscent as possible to the designs it would have had in the 13 and 1400s. And I just think that's really quite cool. And if you compare them, now you have seen Romanesque and early Gothic. Hopefully the differences make sense now.
And something I haven't seen in this town is tourist souvenir shops. I've seen lots of artisans, I've seen a hair salon and a ton of restaurants, but no tourist souvenirs, making it just feel really, really lived in.
Now, of course, it goes without saying, but it's worth mentioning, right, that when you are traveling further off the tourist trodden track, you're gonna get less tourist amenities. Pretty much everything in this town is for the locals, so you're gonna find a lot less outdoor cafe seating than you would at any of the other villages that we've tried. But of course, France being France, it's not hard to get a sweet treat. You just don't have 30 options. I mean, how good does this look? I went with the chocolate croissant, obviously. That is wonderful, flaky, chocolatey, and not too much. But it has wet the whistle. I'm pretty hungry. Do you want to go get a little bit of lunch now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now, as much as I wanted to film lunch back there, I chose not to preserve the peace and dignity of all the guests. This restaurant is incredible. There's only like 6 tables, so it's really tight, it's really cozy, but it's beautiful. And the food, was probably the best Flammkuchen I have had in all of Alsace. And it was pretty affordable too. This is a great restaurant.
I can't believe that we missed it because the bus drove right by it, but this is the oldest tree in Alsace. This tree was planted in 1313, which is just as old as the city tower over there. And we actually have records from the 1400s, when this tree was only 100 years old, that the people of the town of Bergheim started celebrating their spring festival under the shade of this magnificent tree, which they continued to do for over 500 years. Because what you might not realize is that this right here is actually their medieval festival grounds, just outside the city walls. And I can't believe we almost missed it.
This video has been so much fun to make. It's been the epitome of how I love to travel. Exploring like this is exactly why Near From Home exists in the first place. Because frankly, I don't see enough travel guides traveling this way. For example, search Alsace on YouTube right now. Well, not right now, but you get the picture. How many countless carbon copy videos on Colmar and Strasbourg could we possibly need? It's been done to death, and it's why I didn't make one of those videos. Because boring, uninspired, TripAdvisor, top 5, checklist travel, it sucks. These influencers make the world feel so small and crowded, which is ridiculous. The world is massive. Overcrowding isn't because there aren't enough things to do and places to see, it's because boring guides keep inspiring carbon copy itineraries. And channels like mine stay small because it's hard to compete compete with the greatest hits. But let me be clear, because my opinion on travel is nuanced, and I'm not telling you really that Eguisheim is, God forbid my least favorite phrase, a second city to Colmar. That is lame travel advice pretending to be useful, and I think near from home's better than that. So what am I actually saying? It's simple. There is so much more out there. Don't just default to the obvious because you're doing yourself a disservice. Go to the places that you want to go to, but understand the reality of what those places can actually offer. Colmar is beautiful, the food is great, but it's also incredibly crowded and busy. Bergheim, on the other hand, is quaint, it's quiet and no one is there. It's not getting the love it deserves, but also there's only one restaurant, and if you're looking for those waterway, canal, postcard shots, they don't exist here because they've got a medieval wall instead. So you need to ask yourself what you really want to experience and go and do that. Pick and choose your itinerary based off of what you truly enjoy. No need for FOMO when you're having a good time. And of course, try to support travel guides who want to delight you by showing you new places, not just the popular ones you've already heard of. Which, on that note, like this video if you've liked it, subscribe to learn more actual hidden gems, give us a tip if you think we've earned it, tell your friends, because we need your help growing the Near From Home community, because we can't always rely on that algorithm. But with all that said and done, I will see you in the next video, wherever that might be.